Howdy, everybody. I don't know how many people will be watching this live, but at any rate, we're doing live questions and answers and all that good stuff. But I wanted to do a final walkthrough type video that the laundromat's finally done, yay! And it's been a disaster. I mean, it's been awful. I guess I can switch the camera around, so that's cool. Let me see. Looks very hazy. Maybe it's just the weather. But anyway, the laundromat's finally done as far as the rehab goes. We had our final occupancy inspection, which was just a disaster. They actually came in and, well, the city came in and the first words out of the fire inspector's mouth was, "Oh, I'm glad that you haven't done any work in here whatsoever. I'm really glad that you called us to come and tell you what's wrong so you can fix it before you start any work." And it's more from the issue that this place has been trashed for, well, since 1984. There's been no maintenance. So I'm going to go through and explain to you guys all the crap that we had to do. You know, it's one of those deals where I was really, truly hoping that we could get through and do everything without a whole bunch of money out of my own pocket, but that's not the case. The first thing, I've had more complaints. There's a Y on there now. We actually went to the back of the building, took off a Y and put it on there. We've got the pop machine up. The pop machine has been making money every single day. With the ginormous apartment complex right over here, people are coming down and buying pop off of us, which is nice, but it's making like 10, 12 bucks a day, which isn't anything really interesting. We haven't done really too much physically to this office over here, but hey, but the big thing is, like with the office, we had to tear out and replace flooring here, and we took literally 2x6s and nailed them down to the floor because that whole area was rotted out. Because as you can see daylight under the floor there, water was infiltrating and it completely screwed everything up. Rotted it out. I've got a nice-ish DVR system over here, but we're actually running an internal and an external DVR system and security system. So the people here can actually watch themselves on one of the feeds, which is kind of cool. But this, I guess, is going to be my office once I get an air conditioner in here. And then I've also got a stack of pop. And we're actually going to have a monster machine because people come by every so often and hand money to me and beg me for monster. But this is pretty nice. We've got, I ended up wiring all the Cat 5 myself, which is kind of neat. I hardly do any of the labor or work myself. So the fact that I set up the security system, I guess I should say I'm pretty proud of myself. This is a Lorex system. It uses PoE, so power over Ethernet, which means that you don't have to run electric to your cameras, which is really a big deal. The city actually would throw a huge fit over the security deal because they 120 voltage lines they need in conduit, so we can go through and look at people in here, and then I can get a feed from my phone of everything that's going on in here. But it's kind of neat, but that's just a security standpoint because people like to rob laundromats because they think they make all this money. I still don't know how much money we're going to make, which it's hard to say. We're still doing the contest, at least for like another week. So that'll be on there. So here we're going to get into all the crap I had to do, or that my crew had to do. We redid all the floors. I actually had people call and threaten me, or they didn't call and threaten me. They got on social media and said, "Brandon, your floors are made out of asbestos tiling. You're going to give everybody cancer." I don't know how many of you have ever dealt with asbestos tiling or asbestos before, but there's kind of this rule, and I guess the EPA has tried to talk about it, but the thing is with asbestos, as long as you don't touch it, you're fine. It's when you get in and start removing it or screwing around that the asbestos starts to get in the air and you start to cause a lot of problems. So what we did here was we took epoxy and we epoxied all the asbestos tile in. And this stuff is like steel. I mean, it's high PSI epoxy, which is awesome. If you go back and look on the early videos, there was a bank of Laundromat W74 front load washers built in 1991. We removed and scrapped every single one of them. And for better or worse, I replaced them with these much newer. I think they're late 2018, early 2019 Speed Queens. We've raised the prices on everything in here. We're now at $250 per wash on these, and if you start playing around with the load types, they actually increase in price. So these are new, they're nice, they work awesome. I've actually had caught people on camera talking about them, saying how nice they are. We've got almost everything in here working. When I took it over, almost everything was broke. Now we're at a point that practically everything works. So this one's broke. This dryer's still broke, but that one will be fixed real soon. But we came over here, we put a big shelf in. We had to cut the locks off on the soap dispensers. That took, each one of these machines took 30 minutes to cut open. We had to cut open some of the bottom locks down here. One of these washers over here, and when we do the compilation video, this washer right here was broken because it was so full of quarters that it destroyed the mechanism. And if you look down in here, you'll actually see, all right, this is the mechanism, and the way these washers work is really cool. There's a relay right here, and all that has to happen is that relay has to be pushed by this coin mechanism. And if you put the quarters in here, it'll actually go back far enough to hit that relay and turn the washer on. So what happened was, down here in the coin box, it was so full of quarters up to the top that the quarters got jammed in this coin mechanism, and it would prevent the washer from even working. We opened it up, and it's just quarters just went everywhere. We actually set all the quarters on top of here and covered the whole entire surface of one of these washers with quarters, just from this one washer that was never taken care of. I don't know if you guys knew it, but on these change machines, like, there's no instructions. I cannot find a user's manual on how to use this Hamilton coin changer, like, to save my life. So through lots of trial and error, I finally figured out that, I'll see if you can see it, that the money, when you put a dollar bill in, it just literally goes in the feeder and it shoots out the bottom. There's no coin hopper. I was hoping that this thing, as poorly serviced as this laundromat was, I was hoping that we'd open up this validator and it'd be full of $1 bills, because there were quarters all through the bottom of this. You see where the screws are and stuff? There were actually quarters strewn about here, and you know, we've gone on a treasure hunt of treasure hunts, finding change. There was change in this. There was $2 in this one. There was like $5 in this one. There was $20 or $30 in those soap dispensers, and it's just there's money all over here that nobody really put effort into. We repaint. I had hoped to replace these dryers here. These are from the 70s. And my brother, who runs an appliance store, came in and said, you know, those dryers will literally last forever. They're just stupid reliable. And he said, don't, unless you're going with brand new dryers, don't take them out, just keep them in there. So that's what we did. These ones over here are much nicer. I actually kind of fixed that one myself. I don't know why it says don't. One says fill, the other one says don't. This dryer down here is still screwed up. The heating element, I think, is bad. We got this Pepsi machine here working, but I'm going to turn it into a Bang and Monster machine when I get some time. I just don't have time. Here's the crazy storeroom that's full of money. There's these coin mechanisms back here, and these are $50 a piece. And they're just all over this place. We keep finding boxes full of laundry stuff. So if you have a laundromat and you need parts, I might have some. I mean, and the fire department threw a huge fit over this room and said, there's just too much stuff in here. You have to throw it away. And I really hate to think of how much money I threw away. This is our boiler. The boiler company is supposed to be in here later today, maybe tomorrow to fix it. That's literally, this is the last thing we have to do to get the laundromat open because the boiler's not heating up hot enough. But they told me that maybe end of today, first thing tomorrow, they'll be in and fix it. Each one of these boxes here sells for $1. When I took the laundromat over, this whole thing was full of soap. So we've got that. Hopefully you can tell I'm pretty excited about this. These washers are all $2.50. These big ones are $4. We raised the price on every single washer. They were $2. We raised them to $2.50. We're still one of the cheapest laundromats in town. It's just, I asked a lot of people and they said they didn't feel too bad. They didn't feel bad or upset about raising the price 50 cents. But if you think about it, raising the price 50 cents per wash means that you're going to make an extra 20%, or it's 25% per vend. So here's these soap machines, and they're mostly full. I've got to figure out where to order this crap from, because prices are all over. So we're going to go back in the back, and I'm going to show you where I wasted all my money, or I wasted somebody else's money. And I guess it's not a waste. But the idea was that we're going to get this laundromat, and everything beyond this door we're putting off for the future. Because back here, if you go back and watch other videos that I have, there were these dryers literally from the 50s. These big, ginormous, industrial, crazy looking dryers. And the idea was, over the course of time, as we make money, as we get profit, we would tear the dryers out and put a bunch of vending machines in here because there's no convenience store within like 2/3 of a mile. And most of the senior citizens across the street do not have a car, they walk everywhere. So the idea was to rip all the dryers out, then put vending machines in later. Well, the fire department essentially said those have to go immediately. So the people that work for me, the guys that I work, and we had to call extra help. They spent, I don't even want to think of how much time. I don't know who that is. It's probably the tenants upstairs. I don't know how much time they spent tearing out these washers, and the washers weighed about 1,500 pounds a piece. And they took and they scrapped those. I mean, it's just, oh my gosh. But the thing is, they're actually, my crew's right behind there. I don't know if you can hear the beating, but they're behind that wall right now, working on electrical sockets. So we can put in our little vending island back there. I think I can get 6 vending machines in back there and kind of build what would amount to a convenience store, so the people across the street at the big giant apartment complex would have a place to go and buy food and pop and stuff. I talked to Wesley's mom. She actually stopped in and started crying and was so happy that somebody took it over. But I talked to Wesley's mom. That was he owned it, he died, his mom took it over as an executor from the estate. And she came in, was crying and stuff, and she said, out of everything here in the store, vending was, in the laundromat, vending was like the most profitable venture that they had. And I've heard from a lot of people, they said, man, if you could just get some more vending in here, you would kill it. And the cost of me getting a new vending machine is like $500. And these washers here, those are $7,000 washers. So that's $21,000 worth of washers, I can see both of them. Walk back. That's $21,000 worth of washers, just those 3. Yeah. That's $21,000 worth of washers. So me going out and buying a used vending machine for $500, that's a non-event. But with the pop machine that's out here making $12 a day-ish, just based on the fact that people walk by and happen to see it. If I can get 4 vending machines, each making, let's say 5 vending machines, including this one here. But if I can get 5 vending machines on top of the one out there, all making $10 a day, on vending sales, that's $50, it's $50, $60 a day times 30 days a month. That's an extra $1,500 I would make. the machines would pay themselves back like in 2 months. And that kind of return is just way too hard to get. So thanks for watching. Once again, we still have the contest up if you want to try and win $100 to guess how much money this place will make. And here in a week, I'll come back with a video documenting the first week of operations, how much money we made, counting coins and all that stuff. So thank you for watching. If I can figure out how to turn this off.